I fucking told you guys so. I told you. 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 This game is going to be GOAT, but this doesn't come without its flaws. All right, or without flaws is harsh. I'd say like more of one off of perfect. You know what I'm saying? You know how like you have like your perfect sandwich, your perfect dinner. You know that I can just rely on this for sure, for sure. But it's brand new. It's something you heard about. It's something that you thought was gonna be good because you heard the ingredients and you knew it was gonna hit. This right here is kind of like that. When I loaded this game up, the music itself, the cinematics were, I want to say chef's kiss, but I don't want to do too much because I play Ghost of Tsushima and I play Ghost of Yote. Now that was chef's kiss. Like that was truly something. But it gave the same type of feels. It gave you immersion. It gave you like, okay, like Cliff is really coming into this. Like this is really starting like a real like adventure. It gave, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring type vibes. You know what I'm saying? After you like go, you meet up with your boys and they're like, we're not taking this bullshit no more. We're about to get this. We're about to make this work. We're about to go give it to those black bears, right? I was like, oh, we're about to do something crazy. Immediately, the combat is my main focus. Like the cinematics were great. The graphics were great, but the combat was so, it was just so captivating. It was punchy. It was there, but the controllers were kind of weird, or the controls, I should say. It was a little bit awkward, but it wasn't something that was completely like foreign to me. I knew that all like new action games had different controls. Maybe not some are always the same. Maybe not some are like, mirror to each other. I mean, it's a brand new game. It's supposed to be fresh. It was fresh. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I was getting into it and like trying to pair things together, the combos just immediately started coming to you. Like it was spammy at first, but you knew kind of the gist of how you're supposed to do it. And if you like play a lot of action games, you probably like winning a little bit. It was made for you to lose, but it was in there. It was truly a sight to see. Like when Cliff initially went down, I'm not going to do this whole spoilers bullshit with you guys. If you guys haven't played the game by now, shame on you. All right, shame on you. You should have played the game by now, goddammit. It freaking hits. Cliff initially gets slashed and then he falls out into the waterfall. And you're like, whoa, what the hell? And it gives you that aura of mystery. Next, you have this witch, and they're giving you pieces of items, and you're going on a kind of like a treasure hunt, kind of like a mystery hunt. You keep receiving these things. You're down in the trenches already, coming back out, and this dude's giving you like this goddamn like CIA type note type thing. You're like, bro, what are we doing? But just in that aspect of itself, it pulls you right in. You go straight into learning, go straight into the tutorials, and it's giving you at least a itty bitty direction of what you're supposed to be doing. And I like that. And it immediately just started getting you going. There was no mediary. There was no awkward control giving. You know what I'm saying? Because the controls were so intimate or intricate that you really had to like learn as you go along. And some people did not like that. And that's okay. Me personally, if you can get past that, and if you can get past like all the, talking stages and knowing exactly how you're about to like do these things and like just getting over it and playing the damn game, like playing the game. And if you play it like that and not play it like I need to catch up or I need to get through this as fast as I can, you're going to love it. I loved it, in my opinion. I missed this part. We're going to add this in here. The abyss. The first time you get to the abyss, y'all, I don't give a damn who you are. For one, we all saw that waterfall when we initially walked past him. We were like, that's not very high definition. What the heck? But then you get past it and then you see the open world and then you see the world below you and how far you can see and the fact that it goes on super far. Brother, it was probably some of the best sightseeing I've ever seen going that far and that extent. Any game I've played. I played God of War. I played Ghost of Yote. Those two, in my eyes, are the best visuals I've seen. I've seen gameplay of Breath of the Wild. I played Horizon Forbidden West. That shit hit. That looked amazing, right? It was right there with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on PC. I get it. I'm marking a 4070 Ti Super with 14900K. It's not the beefiest rig, but it works. It's pretty good. It plays most games very well. Bro, this thing looked amazing. And you could see everything. Nothing was like cut off. There's no, oh shit, like you can't see this far. The clouds are coming here. No, you can see like above the clouds and how the clouds are kind of like obstructing your vision, but you could still see like the lights down there and that you could actually get down there. Bro, amazing. Amazing. I've never seen a game do that. No bullshit. I'm telling you, that was amazing. Okay, so now let's talk about the main event about this game. Brother, it's the combat. The combat is everything. I'm literally not exaggerating. The story's cool. It's cool. But the combat is where it's at. The weapons you use, dual blades, staffs, spears, goddamn halberds. Somebody told me about that. It's not like actually a staff. It's like got the little sharp part about it and whatnot. People know about that stuff, the medieval thing. It is amazing. Like the sword and shield, you got your classic, right? I went immediately to dual blades. All right. I went Monster Hunter Wilds on that, John. Started spinning like a Beyblade. That shit was my favorite. You guys are going to hear me say that a lot. I loved that. The grapple ability, which was Axiom Force. Axiom Force doesn't seem like much in the beginning, but as you progress through, that is the most useful tool I've ever used. Obviously, in every game, grapple is amazing. Grapple's cool. It lets you traverse. But pulling enemies after you RKO'd, you heard me correctly. This man is RKOing mofos into the damn dirt, breaking trees that he's hitting the ground with so much force. You can't tell me what game you're doing that. Maybe Batman Arkham Knights. I know somebody told me about Devil May Cry. I need to play those if it's hitting like that. That was crazy. He's bro. He's clotheslining people. We're playing WWE SmackDown in this mofo, and people are telling me this thing is boring. You gotta be kidding me. You know what I'm saying? That the Axiom Force, using your special abilities with your goddamn weapons, because you can imbue elements into the weapons, which means you can use your fire, lightning, wind, and frost. All right, maybe that's not exactly what it's called, but it worked. It worked. Using your weapons with imbued elements is probably one of the smartest out of the box thinking I've ever seen. I haven't played a game like it. Again, I'll go to say this. I'm a pretty casual gamer, but I'm in the mix of things. You know what I'm saying? Like you come home from work, you do your best to play the game and trying to keep up with everybody, but you try to stay away from Call of Duty because you actually want to game and have fun. That type of guy. All right. So I'm your guy if you go to work and you want to see if you can play this thing and it's actually going to matter to you and you're actually going to keep playing. Keep playing. I'm serious. Keep playing. But that by itself is just, better than Ghost of Tsushima. Better than God of War. I'm telling you, better than that. Better than using your freaking dual chain knives and smashing around with demons. Better than that. Better than that. I'm telling you. And it's with all the weapons feel that way. All of them feel responsive. Eventually you get the combos. When you use your combos and realize that you can hold down a button and then switch to another one and it actually moves into one fluid motion, that is probably the best realization I've ever seen. And there's aerial combat. All right. Not a lot. Maybe not that I've discovered. Okay. But it's there. You could use it. You know what I'm saying? That part to me is probably like my all-time. That's like my highest reason of why I continued to play. Because when I get into combat, it is just balls to the wall. It is it. Okay. Now, switching gears, we're going to talk about exploration. Chat likes to get into it with me all the time, but I'm not looking for bosses. I'm not going, liberating the whole area. You know who you are. You know who you are. Mind your business. I'm gaming. Okay. I'm gaming. But the exploration part of it is probably one of like my favorite points of the whole thing, because it's truly open world. there doesn't have to be a cutscene for everything unless you want to do your fast travel. All right. You can use the fast travel by using the Abyss Nexus points. Those are obviously you can use those to fast travel. They even cut down the time for the fast travel because everybody complained about it apparently, which is fine to me, I guess. But it was easy. It wasn't too weird. But with your exploration, like there were so many great sights that I just had to take in. And it was the sky. The sky and the mountains were really like its heavy hitter. That was so cool to see, especially when you wanted to just travel to other areas because you heard about different mounts, different things to see, different demons, different monsters. It was crazy. And the monsters that you find and the different bosses that you find, that it's not just humanoids, it's beasts, it's flying creatures. It's, things that you wouldn't expect to come get you. Like you're on the mountains and all of a sudden you hit this freaking rock snake that looks like a giant turd. I've never seen no shit like that. I've never seen no. And that's a great segue into night and day. Bro, daytime, awesome, great, everything's cool. Nighttime is spooky time. It is spooky time at nighttime. That is probably the most realistic nighttime behaviors I've ever seen. Like you get blindsided, okay? Anything can attack you. The little people coming around to attack you, like the sprites or however they call it. You know what I'm talking about, guys. With that, the things that you discover, maybe not everybody's favorite point. This I have a little bit less energy for. The puzzles. Puzzles are cool. Puzzles are awesome. I spend a lot of time on my puzzles and I think it's fun. I like it, but it just takes a lot of time and you will get stuck and you do have to listen or what is it? Go to YouTube and try to like research a couple things. I'm 160 hours in and I haven't even really touched Demonis. And I know that there's a whole plethora of puzzles going on for me. And if Hernan was looking like that, and so was Pywell, or not Pywell, Payloon, we in for it. We are in for it, boys. I'm still grinding this game, and I don't plan on stopping. All right. But the puzzles are so cool, and there's so many Easter eggs in there. Like there's one Easter egg that had Harry Potter in it. I thought that was really, really funny. There's so many in there. There's a Squid Games Easter egg in there. It's so good. So good. The atmosphere is real discovery. It feels like I'm really in a world where there's fantasy going on, there's sci-fi going on. You don't know what time period you're in. It doesn't matter to you. But if you're the type that it matters to you and it has to make sense, hey man, it just isn't your game. This isn't your game, right? So the exploration is solid. The combat is extra solid. The puzzles are cool. Finding the puzzles are cool. The spires that you find, which are the giant towers, and they all have puzzles in them, or they might have bosses in those spires or whatnot. Those are amazing. The witches that you encounter. There's multiple witches in every area that you have to go find. It eventually gives you pieces to a point where you have to get to. I'm not going to spoil it, but it hits. It was fun. And then you have to cleanse each of the sanctums. There's multiple bosses on those. Those are pretty hard. Some of those are extremely spammy, like really, really spammy, like really spammy. But you get over it. You figure it out. You get you loaded up. You get your food, which is your main point of how you get your regen back. You make sure you make your polymer pills, which is where you craft them at the cauldrons and whatnot. There's golden and there's regular, so you can come in like a full health or half health. It doesn't just give it to you, it gives you a real good challenge. And then you make sure you get your abyss gears, which I haven't talked about much, which is the different abilities or buffs that it gives your weapon or your armor pieces. Not all armor pieces get abyss gears, but most of them do. And you figure out which abyss gears can goes into what, and then it'll like eventually progress you, which is how you get stronger. And then more and more you get better and better abilities, along with refining your gear, making you progress stronger and power progression. It works. So like I said, exploration is not linear. You go and you just find out. You fafo out there, all right? You figure it the hell out. But let's talk about some of the rough edges, right? Some of the rough edges, I would say mostly are just small bugs. Me personally, because of like how often I play, I only get like maximum 2 hours a day, maybe like 4 to 5 hours on Saturday, give or take, right? Each time that I found a bug or I felt like there was a bug, it got fixed next day. How fast they're updating, putting in those patch notes. All right. Those patch notes were coming out in like wildfire. I'm telling you, they were making sure that they heard us. But certain things that I know that didn't get all the way figured out, markers were a big thing, right? But for some reason, they removed it from the mini map. So those don't work anymore. Um, I know with the controls itself, the controls are so different, I would say, about how you are supposed to be, pressing them together and working them together. But eventually you figure it out. I know that was people's biggest gripe with it, but I don't think it was that bad. I think it's like any other game. Once you figure it out, and that's like, the speed of the game, like it's supposed to be like that. And it was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. Right? Jumping accidental, fall offs, and you're not traversing right. Things not always working when you execute the ability, right? For example, the swing ability where you hit that cool little roll that Cliff saw, where everybody saw in like the trailers and whatnot. I know that doesn't always work. Your grapple ability doesn't always work correctly. Getting on the horse is kind of weird. Your pets don't always come out when they're supposed to. Sometimes you have to summon them. Maybe that's by design. I don't know. But those things have also been fixed. I know the pets, pick up things a lot more, a lot faster and whatnot. Yeah. And they also have pets. I forgot to add that. They got pets. They got dogs. They got all types of stuff. But yeah, it's not without, little dents in the armor. To me, those are very small dents to compare to what we've dealt with in the past with other developers and how they deal with things. I think it's very, very different. To me personally, these fixes, these, inconveniences were very doable. I think people are a little bit impatient. People are prone to want to hate something so bad because of all this dead on arrival stuff. It's not that bad. It's easy to pick up, and you can get the hang of it for sure if you really just stick to the game for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? We got away from actually playing the game and then just finishing the game and seeing what we think after that. What about enjoying it during it? That's how I think about it. Okay. And this is where we need to talk. This is where we need to rethink things and really get into why certain people were, defecating on this game. All right. The story and the quest line of this game. The fact that I kind of feel like one of the quest lines were better than the story itself was kind of crazy. Like the whole mysteries and I forget what, but just going around and finding all those puzzles, digging stuff up, turning over stones. That was cool. If I were to like fight enemies as I went along and did those quests, that'd be kind of cool too. And just kind of like uncover things as I go along and meet like maybe like sub villains under the big bad. They all meant something to the overall arching story. The overall story is like, it's so patchy, I would say. It's about what they want to do and what's supposed to be happening. We don't know if I don't know if the bottom dwellers, as what I'll call them, the people of Earth and whatnot, is who I'm supposed to be handling and taking care of. And if they know that I'm supposed to be taking care of them, Team Greymane, or am I working with the Abyss and the Witch and trying to figure out how we're about to get through this and why we're trying to keep this world away from them, keeping the people on the ground safe. The witches themselves and their quest line was very cool. It's very interesting. It's nice. Does it feel like everybody knows me? Why does it feel like everybody knows about what Cliff should be doing? I'm 160 hours in. At the moment, I'm at chapter 9. That's how it feels. And there's only 13 chapters, and chapter 13 is the epilogue after the fact of everything that went up. So that's where it kind of gets weird and the strengths. Because now that I've watched a couple other YouTube videos, people are saying the same thing, and other YouTubers are saying the same thing. They're saying that there are websites where we can figure out what was actually going on with the Abyss and Cliff and why it felt like Cliff has been here before and why he's never questioned anything. Why, when he died, everybody just accepted that he came back, even though folks saw that he died. You know? Why was he immediately ready to free fall into the dang earth and nobody said anything? And he flies around and people kind of look a little weird, but nobody ever mentions it. They just know that this man has, I don't know, elemental strengths. Like, is that not odd to anybody? And it's just, we get that it's not linear, but if there was like a quest line that had us follow the quest, but it kind of made you lock into an area, figure out all these side quests, and I had to figure out what's going on over here in the east, and then we get through it, and then we would progress over to the other side. We don't have to do the main story, but we do all the other side stuff, and once we finish the side stuff, I'm kind of putting it together, but now we know, oh, I'm doing the main quest line in that area now. All of that made sense. Either you could do it, the side quest first, and then do the main one, or do the main one first. You're like, this doesn't make sense, but it kind of will lock you in the area. Not really lock you, but just be so hard around the area that it's like how it was when like you're low level. You can't get into Demonis because they're going to wax you. You know, do it in that way. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'd be much, much appreciated for this small channel. And talk smack about it the way folks are talking smack about it. I kind of like it. If it was more explanatory and it was more in your face, it would have made sense. But something's telling me that's not what's supposed to happen. Something's telling me that we have to look through these books and actually read and figure out what we're supposed to be doing. And that's fine. So long as I know that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I guess this is the hand holding everybody was talking about. Maybe put a disclaimer. Read those damn books. Look at the walls. The caves mean something, Cliff. The fact that I got this far in the video and I'm now mentioning the side characters. The side characters are just kind of there. They're not even really mandatory. I got all the way to chapter 9 without playing any of them. I retract that statement. We had to play as Damien and Unka for those like 2 missions. Once. None of anything else was mandatory. Which is kind of like, I guess that's fine. But like, I wish they tried more to incorporate them. Like, we had to do that stuff. And the way the Abyss gears are geared toward them, not good. Because if they were equally geared and I didn't have to give up my Abyss gears to work with Unka and Damien more, and I'm talking like, not just like the basic stuff that they updated and whatnot. No, give the mofos the Abyss gears the same way they gave Cliff and let me ball out like a real baller. They don't really add much substance to it, right? That's my opinion on that. How we can make this game better instead of just complaining and just saying things, empty freaking complaints, you know, no fixes, no solutions, right? My first fix, I think, would be the controls. I'm not sure how we could do it, but I know what games that it felt right and I knew I was doing the combos correctly. And that was Ghost of Yote. Not Tsushima, but Ghost of Yote. I felt like those controls made sense to me and how we like were getting into it. But we can't do that because we have imbued elements with those things as well, right? Maybe incorporating, I don't know, a single button that continuously hit the elements. Because it's like, it makes sense that you use your heavy and you use each button pad to like hit the different element. But I would fix the button issue. However game that you need to follow, whatever game that you need to, you know what? Perfect way we could do it. We could make little subclasses and it all be fire, right? Or it could all be ice. So you could use your abilities more extensively, right? Or if we wanted to combine everything, you give us the option and then we use what we think would be best together. You know, all 4 is cool, but you can only use certain points of that element, right? Or if you want to use 2, you can use multiple points of those 2 elements, and it would kind of like make it a little bit better and make everything a little less clunky if instead of kind of, how can I word this? Crowding out the controller with so many things at once. I think that's a good one. Yeah. I think that would be a good idea. Because I'm kind of thinking about it how Destiny does it. Destiny 2, greatest MMO of all time. Have they died? Maybe. Mind your business. Um, but yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Um, Having each ability, you know, be a little bit more responsive. When I say ability, I mean Axiom Force. That's one. Uh, Using your horse. That's kind of like a big one too. The puzzles. Some of the puzzles, when you like try to activate them, aren't, if you don't get them quite right, it ain't gonna go. You know what I'm saying? That's a small complaint, but having that little bit of leeway would probably be better. I remember at first when you would turn the puzzle, you would see all the leaves around it. You would know they changed it to make it like glowing green. I don't know who they did that for, but I thought the leaves were a good touch. I don't know, but little stuff like that. I don't really have too many fixes. Maybe better graphics. I know I was talking about the graphics at the beginning, how good they were. They are good, but maybe my rig isn't strong enough. Maybe like scaling it a tiny bit better. I think it's still badass. I still think it's some of the best visuals I've ever seen. But given that realism, goes to Yote feeling there. You know what I'm saying? That hair moving in that mofo. I think that's really sick. If they were able to add that somehow, some way, that is like a straight up out of left field wish. That's just something I think that would be even cooler. You know what I'm saying? Making it that much better. I don't know how they would, kind of engineer that, change it, update it. I don't know. But that's one thing I would change. Uh the color scheme. The color scheme in this game in some places are vibrant, but a lot of it lack a tiny bit of luster. It feels like it's more on a gray scale, if you know what I mean. Not a huge thing, but nice. Shiny make nice. Shiny make nice. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like the more vibrant it is, the more eye catching it is. Like maybe because they didn't want to overdo it and like overpower folks like senses and whatnot and be like, oh, okay, this is too much. Um, they didn't want to add too much in there. But I think adding a little bit, just a tiny bit more color, a little bit more saturation would be cool to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I think that would be cool. Yeah. That's about all the real fixes I have. Cuz now I'm just thinking about things that you could change and it's not too many, I like it. I like it. After 160 hours in Crimson Desert, I'll say this. This is one of the best action games I've ever played. I'm not going to say RPG. I'm not going to say action RPG because people are really weird about it. I don't know which one's supposed to be which. It feels like an action RPG to me, but that's how I feel. This, in my opinion, if a game doesn't come out with a harder hitting story than this, which it's easy to with combat and with just maybe even just equal combat to it, this will win GOTY. This will win Game of the Year hands down. Wyrmwood's meat is over there, but their expansions are kind of weak right now. But this will win GOTY. I think so. Mark my words. Hey, note me, know me. Put it in the comments and come back to it and let me know what wins. I'm pretty sure this is going to win. I like this game. I like how the flow is. I like how it doesn't tell you where to go. I like how you got so many bosses. That's the main point. You trying to test your abilities, test your might type stuff, Mortal Kombat. I think it is very much worth it. I think people will not waste their time if they buy this. I think this is the most fun you'll ever play or ever have in a open world game with this much stuff to do, with this much land to explore, with this many additions, with this many updates and patch notes, and community being extremely receptive of it, except, at first, I think you will have fun. As a casual gamer, as a hardcore gamer, I think it hits. I lean more towards my casual side because I can't game, 5 to 10 hours at a time. I just can't. But I think you guys will have fun, and I think you should buy it. And I think you will have the time of your life. It's a lot of game to handle, but you're not going to regret it. Okay. And lastly, I need Pearl Abyss to hear this. If you need to redo the story, redo it. No one's going to be mad. Have the same core, storyline, same premise. Give a little bit more backstory. Let us know what is going on with Cliff and why he is the way he is, without us having to go to another website. That's what I think. You guys killed it. You knocked it out of the park. And I think that many people will be playing this years and years to come. And I hope you guys win Game of the Year. All right. I've been me. You've been you. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this game. If you do buy it, drop the comments. All right. Hit a like if you like this video. JohnnJackTV signing out, man. I'm out of here.